Our final empiricist that we are going to discuss is David Hume. Hume believed the senses were paramount. The senses are all that is important. When we think about the things that we know, or think about the things that we think we know, there are two different options. There are relations of ideas and matters of fact. Matters of fact come from impressions from our senses. My senses gain information, okay? And I get impressions of blue and green and white. I get impressions of squares and rectangles and circles. When we look around, our senses grab these impressions. And the impressions are what Hume called lively and vivacious. Those impressions fade into ideas. So the impressions become less lively and less vivacious, and they turn into ideas. Then our minds do something with these ideas. Relations of ideas are derived purely from reason. And the relations of ideas are when our minds relate ideas to each other to make sense of them. Okay, I get lots and lots and lots of impressions from the world, okay? You've just gotten an impression of green, and you've just gotten an impression of red, and you've just gotten an impression of black. We also get impressions of shapes. We get impressions of circles and lines. The impression we get is not of stick figure person. We get impressions of shapes and lines and colors. Our minds take that information, okay, it fades into ideas, and our minds take that information to help us make sense of it. So that now I can understand this is a stick figure. This is a person, and it looks like the other stick figure persons I draw because I don't know how to draw, but I got to draw something up here for y'all to be able to look at. I see people. I see my neighbor. Okay, but what my impressions are of shapes and colors. I hear sounds, I hear her voice. My mind takes those ideas and relates them to the ideas I had when I saw my neighbor yesterday. And I say, oh, that's the same person I saw yesterday. Our immediate impressions give us information, but don't tell us things like same or before, because all they give us are those impressions right at that moment. And they are, Hume says, those things that we can know. I can only know my impressions. I can only know my impressions. The problem is, again, the impressions give us information, but not the sort of information we use. I use information like, hey, that's the same neighbor I saw yesterday. Or, hey, that's my car because it's the same car I bought and it's the same car I drove to work today. The impressions are of the color and the shape of the car, not the same car. That's a relation of ideas.